Second Mount Angel City Council meeting. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call please.
Councilor Eager,
Here.
Councilor Astorga,
Here.
Councilor Donahue will be showing his but absent right now. Councilor Hott. Here. Councilor Hofer.
Here.
Councilor Bullock.
Here.
Mayor Dodd.
Here. Do we have any guests, announcements, or interested citizens?
Not this evening.
Excellent. Moving on. Review of accounts payable. Counselor Sparga, any questions on the accounts payable?
I did not.
Counselor Black?
And then.
Counselor Ott?
Nope.
Counselor Hoper? Council President Eater?
I do not. I have a
Uh,
question about the report though.
go right
Not the
ahead.
Report, but about the report. Is it required that every expenditure gets on that report, or can you have a policy that says nothing over X amount of dollars needs to be on it?
I don't know, we'll have to ask Terry when she comes back. But we'll make a note of it, we'll get my team.
It
I
appears,
don't know what the feeling of.
it
Yeah.
appears that, I think that this is a generated report of every transaction
These.
to help balance.
This is pretty much a check run.
Yeah. I can See that.
I see a $6.85 charge, so if she's leaving in, or $4.77, so,
Check
I understand that it is.
yeah.
It's everything. My question is, can you have something where you can say, we're only gonna see anything over $100, $200, and whether or not the council is interested in something like that. I personally, I don't see why we're looking at $6.95 stuff.
Let's talk about it next month,
Okay,
when we have the educated person here.
certainly. Thank you.
Um. My only concern with that is then it's hard to make sure everything balances out, but that's not what we're here for, so. Counselor Donahue's here, welcome.
Hi.
Do you have any questions about the minutes from last month or
I do.
corrections?
I do not.
Fantastic. Counselor Astorga.
You know.
Oh, I thought that was you. You were about to get strike two.
Sorry, thought it was on silent.
I said no.
Counselor Black,
Well, I don't have any corrections to it unless I have a question about the minute, or something odd about the minute.
let it rip.
Okay, so, last month, Michael Kale talk, we cut him off, 3 minutes. Cut his presentation short. And supposedly asked for a copy of his talking points. And he did submit something, correct? So I kind of expected if he did submit something that we would see it here in the packet. And we don't, and I was wondering what the process, what's the policy on submitted comments? Not only to finish this, but also in regular day-to-day work, what if someone sent a letter to the city addressed to the council? And do we see that kind of stuff as a standard practice?
The answer to that question is yes, you do.
Do we see it like next meeting or?
It's usually as a part of the correspondence portion. Very early in the meeting, so anything that is then addressed to council would be available in the council packet. And you would all see that, and the public would see it.
Here's my concern with submitted testimony that's not in the form of a letter addressed to the council or something like that. Is we have a 3-minute limitation on everyone for keep everything equitable. And so my concern is if someone puts together a 10-page testimony, they read the first 3 minutes knowing they just hand the rest in and then they still get their point across. So that would be my only kind of gray area that I would want to investigate.
But should that I think what he's saying is if that 10-page should be made public record and put it in the packet.
And that's where I'm struggling is because we do have a 3 minute limit on people.
Like they can get it, they could come to the city and get it put on agenda as a discussion item.
Yeah.
So we're discussing it until we're done discussing it.
We'll have to investigate that. I don't have an answer for you.
And I can see both sides, but to me, it's like he came, I don't know how long his presentation was meant to be. But then we get, let's say, half of it or 3/4 of it, we don't think the rest is. It's supposed cheated, I don't wanna know what the rest might be. Not that it would have mattered on the discussion, because I think the discussion was gonna end the way it ended, I get that in this case. But,
I understand. We'll investigate and let you know.
I just think, for transparency, whatever, somehow, we ought to see something that's.
Just for the record, I did not place it on our website either, so what council heard is what the general public got to hear during those 3 minutes. If he would have requested, that, like, we were talking about a council testimony form where there was no time limit or anything, then he could have spoke on the agenda item that he requested. But in that case, since you all heard what the public heard and we didn't allow him to finish that within those 3 minutes, I did not include the rest because it wasn't entered into the testimony.
And normally when I ask somebody to go ahead and leave a copy with the clerk, it's for staff to respond to any pertinent issues. So I think there's some semantics here. We just need to make sure we're following the rules correctly.
We'll investigate.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did anybody from staff reach back out to him?
I've not seen the document that he submitted, so I've not read it. I was operating under the presumptive 3 minutes that he was allowed to speak. And he was stating an opinion.
Right,
He
right.
Clearly told me that after the meeting as well.
Yeah. Counselor Hooper. Counselor Ott. Council President Eater.
Nope.
All right, I will entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President Eater, seconded by Councilor Ott. Have a roll call, please.
Councilor Black,
I,
Councilor Peter,
Aye.
Councilor Hooper, aye, Councilor Astorga,
Aye.
Councilor Donahue, aye, Councilor Hott,
Hi.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. All right, moving on to new business. There are 2 items I'm gonna add to the agenda today. One I'm gonna put at the beginning and one I'm gonna put at the end. The first one is, and this is, again, I know people are getting probably frustrated with me about semantics and making sure everything is like to the T. But in July, in that wonderful meeting I tried to run remotely, that was kind of a train wreck that I did not enjoy. We had a discussion and we chose to table Chief's contract. And I said, if we are going to table Chief's contract and the benefits that were contained within for an additional month or 2, any decision I felt would be retroactive to the July 1 date of the new contract. And from what I could see on the screen, we all kind of went, yeah, that makes sense. We all nodded our heads. We didn't make a motion, we didn't vote on it. And I want that to occur so that I am confident in signing a version of the contract that clearly stipulates it's back to July 1st. And Chief has not asked for this. This is something that I want to do to make sure my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. So if anybody's willing to make a motion to ensure that I can sign the contract retroactive to July 1st, I would entertain that now.
I'll make that motion, and any language it should be. That any benefits in that contract is retroactive to July 1st, 2003.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilor Black and a second from Councilor Eater that the contract that was approved the August meeting will be retroactive to the date of July 1st. Can I have a roll call, please?
And just for clarification, who was the second?
I think it was down there. You said me.
I thought
Hofer.
that's-
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, Hofer.
Yeah, that's what I heard him,
And
and then you
that's
said either, so I wanted to clarify. All right. Councilor Ott.
Since I wasn't here for that conversation last month, can I abstain?
Yes, ma'am. Counselor Bellet,
Aye.
Counselor Eager,
Aye.
Counselor Hoover,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
I'm also going to abstain because I was the one who negotiated the contract.
Motion still passes.
Yes. All right, thank you for that bit of clerical effort. So moving on, integrator of record. To discuss this, we will be opening a joint session with our contract review board. And this is,
I'm carrying the ball since I allowed Alan to go creep through the woods and shoot sticks at animals. So just real quick, the background and the contract has been included in your packet. Due to the high cost of integration of projects completed in the past years and budget for the current year, it was recommended by a contractor that we were requesting a bid from and our attorneys to obtain an integrator of record rather than complete a formal bid for each project. An RFP for integrator of record was initiated on July 2nd. The three-person committee reviewed 2 responses from the Automation Group and Control Systems Northwest. Scoring in the first round produced a clear runner confirmed by reference checks. The committee recommended that the contract be awarded to Control Systems Northwest. And that is what staff recommends to council.
awesome, thank you. Any questions in regards to the contract that's with the or the process it took to get us here? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
We authorize city manager Mark Daniel to sign the contract, attached contracts, for Systems Northwest, committee and as integrator of record for the city of Monroe.
Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Hofer, seconded by Counselor Ott. Now roll call, please.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Hopps,
Aye.
Counselor Bellet,
Aye.
Counselor Eager,
Aye.
Counselor Hoover. Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Mayor Cox.
Aye. Quick question, Colby.
Yeah.
Since we are in a joint session with contract review board, can I leave it
Oh, you
open?
should have, yeah, you should have got out before council voted, that's right, sorry, wasn't taking notes. But we can go ahead and close it.
Okay, I'm gonna close it and reopen it
Okay.
for this next item.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is the sale of the vac truck.
So Public Works, specifically Jason Forrest, who's here remotely because he has a bad cold coming back from vacation. I
Okay.
didn't want to get everybody else sick.
Thank you,
So-
Jason.
Jason's been doing a great job getting all of our surplus property liquidated and having those auctioned off and actually brought some pretty good prices. So, you know, the Ford Explorer is just under $4,000, which was a good price for that particular vehicle. And the bricks that we couldn't give away, I don't know exactly how much they brought in, but it was amazingly high price for what it was. Even the tires that we sold brought like $600 for a set of tires. Were just gently used, and that's better than Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So very, very pleased with that. The one thing though, and you've all seen it around town, seen it working, but we definitely got rid of it and we bought, or we're trying to get rid of it because we bought a brand new back truck, right? But the old back truck, there's a possibility that it could bring over $10,000. And since it's over $10,000, we need the council to say it's okay to approve it and approve the sale of the back truck. I don't need you to approve the specific amount that it gets sold for, just that it's an asset, it needs to be sold, it needs to be gone. So we need the council to approve that it is surplus and is okay to be sold.
Okay, so one clarification under the recommendation is approving the sale should the highest bid reach $10,000.
Right.
As someone who used to auction some vehicles off, am I reading that as that there will be a $10,000 reserve price?
No.
Or it should just be, just in case it breaks $10,000, you have your permission.
In the event that it reaches $10,000, we need council's approval to sell
Perfect. So it is being sold, no reserve.
it, no reserve.
Okay. So if we approve this, the vac truck's leaving.
It needs to go.
Yes.
Will the proceeds go towards the new one?
The proceeds will, Tara will handle that. I don't know, I don't want to be quoted the wrong thing, but it will probably go back into the appropriate account. Like the proceeds from the Explorer should go back, or from the Crown Vic, should go back into the general.
To the fleet fund or whatever, yeah.
To help offset the lease payments of the new stuff,
Sure,
potentially,
it may offset a little bit of finance charge or something like that.
right?
I'm being very realistic on what we're gonna get for the laptop.
Yeah. All right, anything else you'd like to add, Jason?
You're still on mute, Jason.
No, I think Mark covered it really well. Just to emphasize this point about the bricks, those bricks had sat there for 2 years. And we wound up getting a final sale from those for $875. So that was kind of the big winner from this round so far.
Good work.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote the description in the pamphlet for those bricks deserves a raise. All right, council, any questions on the sale of the vac truck? Hearing none, I'm going to close the joint session with the contract review board. We're getting there. And I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the sale of the 1995 vac truck should the highest bid reach $10,000 at the Gov Deals auction.
Okay.
I have a motion from Counselor Storga, seconded by Counselor Belet. Can we have a roll call, please?
Counselor Escobar.
Aye.
Counselor Nani. Aye. Counselor Hawk.
Hi.
Counselor Belet. Aye. Counselor Peters.
Aye.
Counselor Hoser. Aye. Mayor Pat.
Aye. Next, introduction to speed check.
So I really just, I've been warning you that this was coming and wanted you to see that we actually have a power supply, we have a radar, a really attractive sign, and very cool high visibility vests for any program participants who wish to come and check out the equipment, wear and to show wherever they choose to stand and run radars. It doesn't have to be in front of their house, it could be in front of somebody else's house. As long as they're on, someplace where they're okay to be. It's really a very simple thing. This is an older handheld radar, but it works really well. You basically need a 12-volt power supply, which we have right here. Very simple. Plug it in, turn it on. Turn on the 12-volt, then turn on the radar. Let it go through its internal checks. It's ready to go. And how do we test it to make sure it's reading correctly? Use a tuning fork. This is a 35-mile-per-hour tuning fork. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it's reading 34, 35. So it's just that easy. You don't use this every single time at the beginning to make sure that it's functioning properly.
Neighbors start calling. There's a high pitched ringing coming from the neighbor's house.
Yeah, yeah.
Does it work if the participant can't hear the tuning?
Well, the cool thing about that is it reads out on the display. And this darn thing will reach out quite a ways, quite a distance. So all you simply have to do is point it at a vehicle, either going away from you or coming at you, pull the trigger, and it reads on the display how fast the vehicle's going. If it's over the posted speed, what we're gonna ask is for the people to write it down on a clipboard. the license plate number, the date, the time, the location. And then when they turn in, the equipment back to us, then we will write letters to the registered owners of those vehicles, indicating that they were seen, observed speeding, what the speed was, what the potential violation could cost them in a fine, and overall, what speeding, what risks are about with speeding, how dangerous it is to not only themselves, but certainly all of our kids. So it's a way for our public to become better educated on speed. Because sometimes a vehicle coming at you, you might think is one speed, but point the radar gun at it and you go, wow, okay, I had no idea.
It's just really loud.
So anyway, it's an opportunity for us to do something cool. Get some equipment in members of the community's hands and let them have a little fun with it. I'm looking forward to it. In the previous agency, we didn't do this, but we empowered our school crossing guards. Anytime somebody wouldn't obey the school crossing guard, they would get the same information and then they would tell them if they disobeyed a school crossing guard. So you can do a variety of things, but this is one way for our community to get more involved in the safety of at very relatively low cost.
So this is something that you're doing on, the city's doing on their own, that you can, okay, this or.
No, I did this out of the police department. And there are a few communities in the country that do it, but it's done in Europe quite a bit. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how this works out here in Monday. I'm not aware of anywhere else in Oregon.
Don't do it in front of my house, I won't share opinions.
So
I'm gonna ask any members of the public in attendance, please wait to the end of the meeting to request their training. It's just like.
I do have a 3-page document that the person will have to go through, release of liability, and then basically signing out the equipment. Very simple, we'll go through a really quick test or a really quick education of how all this works. And send them in the field. That's really cool. I'm kind of excited about it.
Cool.
Any questions?
I just want to know when Dick's gonna be sitting out there, what hour he's operating.
They pick the
Well,
street.
I'm willing to
Yeah,
bet he
volunteer
starts
before they
early and
pick the
ends early.
Yeah, and the really cool thing is,
Hot.
you know, if we get some high numbers and that type of thing, you know, we could be doing some other things then too. So, would give us some things about our trailers, be a good clue to where to put some police cars. So, maybe write a ticket or two.
Excellent.
But
People come to me and ask about it, I'll just send them over here,
send them to me.
wherever that area is then. City Hall. City Hall.
City Hall and the police department, yep, I've got another document to kind of put together before it's really truly ready to roll out. But I'll be posting on Facebook and I'll get it on the city website and we'll get it up and running.
Or maybe some of us able to help give you a draft of speed warnings. So there's one other thing I'd like to add under new business, for discussion, and that is the council's interest, if there is any. So there's been, some on and off conversation. I know that I've had many run-ins, recently. And I know there's been a couple reports recently of some, overly aggressive or questionable seeming door-to-door solicitors. And I know that there's other communities that require some form of permit, potentially background check, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a process to have permission to actually go to door in those communities. I just am curious if there is an appetite amongst the council to start some investigation and go down the path of potentially starting to require solicitors, which we would exclude religious organizations and probably youth based organizations, but other than that, I'm gonna open it up. Is there an appetite to research this and potentially implement it in our community?
I would answer the door, they can knock all they want, but I'm smart. Just because I'm home doesn't mean I'm answering the door.
Okay,
It's my 2 cents.
okay.
But yes, they're out in full force in the summer and it's usually kids. I feel like.
How are they gonna know that they have to have, you call it a permit?
Mhm.
How are they gonna know this?
Well,
The
Well, it would be,
company or the
the
individual?
requirement would be on our website. Would put it out on social media, and most communities that have this type of code have a sign prominently displayed as you come into the city. So at least,
You'd have multiple signs in.
we're gonna have to have at least 8, and probably more than that.
Is it the company that would have to fill out the thing or the individuals knocking on the door?
It all depends on the code.
Oh.
I've seen it done both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah, but to have individuals come in, yeah, it's kind of an interesting process.
the thing that I kind of liked about it was if someone is to report somebody acting aggressively or something like that, it seems like it would give the police department at least an initial contact point to figure out who it is and what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, it is really interesting, and it also gives, the code is written correctly, it gives us some teeth to be able to make a contact and get good identification information. You know, I've had, situations where I've responded to people, like 15 jumping out of a bus or out of a big van, in a big neighborhood at one time. And looking at IDs of all those people, and frequently they're, removed in vans from place to place, city to city. They don't do necessarily all the best background checks. And surprise, surprise, we may find warrants and then things like that on certain individuals. And then take them out, take them off the street. Whether or not that makes the community any safer or not, I have no answers to that, because we have no idea what they were or what they do when they were in town. It's just the kind of folks that you run across. And there's a lot of really, really good folks too. But remember, and I don't know what all the case law is, we have to, spend some money on attorneys, figure out, what the best course of action would be. But, nonprofits are generally exempt. So anybody who doesn't file taxes claims to be a nonprofit, as a nonprofit. Charitable organizations should be nonprofits, religious organizations. And I've seen questionable religious organizations, come to town, not necessarily this town, but other communities. And having them justify who they are and what they will. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to let them go. Now, is that it with the local solar people who are, beating you guys up, trying to sell you, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of solar panels? They be a nonprofit? Not likely.
Yeah.
Would the guy who's wanting to spray stuff on your screen door be a nonprofit? Not likely, but there's a chance.
I don't know that.
If you don't hire him, he might be a nonprofit.
Kirby Vacuums, I don't
Right.
think is a nonprofit either.
What's the specific issue, that they're over aggressive, or you just don't want to take the time to say, no, we're not interested in buying?
My concern is there are people knocking on doors who could be overly aggressive, scamming, ill intent, and we have no idea who they are, if they are dangerous or not. And just the fact that even ignoring them, they come back, even being very, very rude to them is often not enough to keep them from returning multiple times. And just, I have family members that frankly, I would feel more comfortable if I knew who was knocking on their door. Especially, you know, our elderly community and other folks. So that's why it's been a conversation point, and I just said, why don't we talk about starting the process of investigating what we can do to make town a little safer and more pleasant. But if nobody else feels that way, we can scrap it.
I guess my feeling is if they're those kind of people to start with, they might not give a friend about what the law is in the town, they'll still do it.
You're right.
If the
But-
law comes after, well, then they'll get out maybe and come back a week later, I don't know.
But I should, you know, it's fair to mention that we do receive calls on, you know, door-to-door salespeople. And we do contact them, and we do investigate. So, it's not like they go unnoticed, but,
Okay,
you know, like I said, there are communities that regulate. But it does and would take staff time. It definitely comes at a cost.
If I interject something real quick, since I'm at the counter quite a bit in City Hall, I do get quite a few of them that come through and ask if we have a solicitation permit. So I probably get asked that question maybe like 5 or 6 times a year at least. And so there are some out there that are being responsible and doing their due diligence and checking before they go to. Of course, there's those that aren't as well, but they do seem to be curious about that and come ask often.
Because the most, you know, let's be honest, the more affluent communities usually have some type of code. Which requires either a permit or, you know, some type of, you know, process that they have to make sure that valid, that they're selling a valid product and purpose to be. But I want to make sure that, you know, if council wants us to investigate that code and start looking at it, you know, I want to make sure that whatever we do is absolutely constitutional.
I can't say that I had any issues with solicitors. I mean, I've had a couple, I had one yesterday as I was installing a disconnect for my solar. And I walked up and, you know, I didn't know what they were selling, and they said, it's solar as well. I said, look, and they were like, oh, thanks. But, yeah, I mean, I don't want to burden staff time when, you know, not that most of town has a ring camera, but you know, I mean, that's a pretty darn way to figure out who's on your porch. When you or your neighbor have a picture of that person's face when they came up and then ding dong, so I mean, I'm not overly concerned. with it at this point.
okay. All right, I'll wait till it becomes a bigger issue. Moving on to city manager report.
Okay. So last Oktoberfest, prior to the new agreement with the senior center, someone had placed a device on top of the new roof at the senior center. That device blew over during a storm, luckily not puncturing the membrane roof at the senior center. No one would claim knowledge of the device, the construction, or who put it up there. But, you know, we were able to actually have Public Works go up there once it fell over and see if it damaged the roof, which luckily it didn't. But there was a power cable coming out of the senior center and a Cat5 cable coming out of the next door neighbor's door. But nobody would claim knowledge or ownership of the device. After I had a meeting with Oktoberfest board members, Direct Link contacted the city and requested their device back. As it was very expensive. Because of scheduling issues and all that, I have given the device to Colby, who will be communicating back to Direct Link that the placement of structures and devices on the roofs of city buildings is not allowed. And that should they choose to put up a device, then by their franchise agreement, they're allowed to do that on utility poles. And so we would advise them to follow what we've gone through with the franchise agreement. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that situation. I received a call from the president of Oktoberfest this last week saying that a tent for one of their beer gardens went up at the softball house. that it was erected by the tent company about a week early, and that they had hoped that it wouldn't be a problem for the city. Just so that council is aware, that is a breach of their agreement with the city. However, I'm not aware of any conflicts that this has caused as of yet. In the event that you or others have a question about the agreement between the city and Oktoberfest Incorporated, I printed everyone a fresh copy of the OPEST agreement so that you can take it with you tonight.
Just go back to the early construction of the tent. And you had no problem with it, great. I can see why. Does that mean they're gonna do it every year?
I hope not. I hope not. It has been noted. I do want to share some kind of good news. So you might remember at the last council meeting, council approved, me signing an intergovernmental agreement, regarding the Americans with Disabilities Act curb ramp project agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation. I did sign that agreement and sent that to ODOT. And then received notice, probably a couple days later, that ODOT made a mistake. And that they would be sending me a brand new contract to sign. And what this contract said was that the state shall be responsible for and pay to the power company 100% of the power costs and perform maintenance on the RRFB, which is the rapid flashing pedestrian device that they're going to be installing at 214 Church Street with its own forces at its own expense. And state shall have the power company send invoices directly to the state. So they will be doing all maintenance and the account paying for the power for that traffic control device that will be installed at Church and Home.
And a blinky, like you push it.
Yes, you walk up and you push the button and there's blinky lights that go on and people should stop and leave across the road. So I thought that would be good news for council, that you don't have to get all the diagrams and all that stuff because the state will be taking care of it.
That is excellent news. I do have one question that we can wait till next year on, but I'll be curious to see how the blinky lights conflict or assist our cadets during Oktoberfest.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to benefit them because they're in control of that intersection. And so they will likely have a cadet at each side of that.
Perfect.
And when they stop traffic to allow pedestrians to go, the cadets will probably activate the.
Perfect.
Tara, as I mentioned, has been off on vacation last week and this week. She should be back on the 8th. Alan is on vacation also. Tara's in Utah and Alan is in the woods somewhere here in Oregon. Our public works crew is busy this week, finalizing chores around the community to be ready for Oktoberfest. It will begin painting curbs tomorrow morning. And if you have looked at the gazebo today, you will have seen that the rail to the access ramp for the gazebo was installed. The repainted benches have moved back up on the deck. And the only thing left for us to do is to, I guess, have a inspection by the county on our access ramp, which we didn't know that we would have to have. So we know that now. So Colby's working on that. And then instead of having two very fragile, weird looking flagpoles out in front of the gazebo, they have been replaced with two 25-foot collapsible flagpoles, which will display the American flag and the Bavarian flag during Oktoberfest. The Legion's very excited about hosting the color lights, leaving them up all week during the course of the festival. There are LED lights, solar powered LED lights on top of the flagpoles, which will illuminate both flags as per best practice and standard.
Awesome.
OFest, OFest, OFest. Stand ready to answer any questions.
Shelley's excited. It's curb painting season.
I am, I was gonna ask.
Okay.
It
My favorite topic
starts tomorrow.
is when they dump And they paint over what's already mossy and old and grumbly. Doesn't.
Supposed to shower tomorrow.
I have a question about curb.
Didn't want to
appeal.
hear that.
Can in front of the post office be green? 10 minute? Nobody reads that 30-minute thing. And I love my yellow curb, but I often park there because somebody's parked there, obviously eating lunch at Lou's or the sausage company because they've got their shield up.
It's about liability.
It's a liability. Like the green, to have it just be that spot be a green one,
So are you talking about the spot actually in front? Only
Yes.
The single spot?
the single spot.
Yeah, I can look at, see about that, but I know
People will
people are
probably
still
still park
upset,
there
yeah.
anyway.
so.
No, I know it was the curb distance, but it's the, like the two parking spaces that are closest to the.
Yeah.
Post office.
Yeah. I can look at it, But
Sorry,
thank you.
but I do love my yellow curbs. I do.
I know that Public Works was out cleaning curbs and getting them prepared for paint tomorrow, so. I don't know how fast you're gonna be applying paint, Jason, but I know that you're really excited about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited about it. To get it going here. We've been talking about it for a while. We've done quite a bit of effort on some of the worst curbs in town. We've had, some of them that have, 20+ years of paint. They've just built up and chipped off of them. So we've spent some significant time on some really bad curbs. Like I said, we're gonna focus our attention on the core area to get started, then we'll branch out from there.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes.
Bet.
All right, hearing nothing else, obviously, we're gonna skip our youth advisory councils. We're currently recruiting. Counselor reports, Counselor Donahue. Counselor Astorga,
Come support us at JFK Friday, football game, 7 PM,
what time of year already?
football season, I love it.
Counselor Dweck. Counselor Ott,
Yeah.
Counselor Hofer.
Yeah.
Council President Eater.
I attended the funeral of Susie Marston. She was the city administrator at Jervis, so she left or was terminated when everything kind of fell apart in Jervis a few years back. So too young, 51.
She was the finance director for the city of Monmouth.
Yep.
When she died, so. City managers are, I knew Susie a little bit, she was a staple and a person that was very well thought of and was wealth of information. And a lot of city managers commented on our listserv about how calm she would be and she would just be a great presence. So she'll be and is sorely missed. So thank you for.
I actually tried to get her to come here when we were in the process, but she was content there. That's all I got.
I only have two quick things. Those of you who haven't seen, Maze put together, I believe it was Maze, put together it's currently in its first year back, 2-team softball league. And they have, I think, 6 games. It's on Friday and Sunday nights.
There are Fridays, yeah, Friday and Saturday or Friday and
I think Friday and Sunday at about 7. It's not just entertaining to watch, because it's a bunch of people who are trying to do things, potentially things that they may not have realized how old they've gotten. But more so, it's not often that we see the lights on at Ebner. I want Jason to hear this, the lights on at Ebner and people using the park, and there's probably, I'd say there's probably 75 people down there hanging out and watching people have a good time and, only mild arguments over what the score should be and whether the runner was, safe or out. And it's just a genuine small town good time. So I just wanted to recognize that the work at Ebner is not gone unnoticed and the adult softball's coming back. And it's a good time, even if you're not playing. So with that, obviously, the other thing is Oktoberfest is coming up. Thank you, Chief, for giving us all the agreement. And all the fun stuff that goes along with Oktoberfest and the fact that the schools are back in session and still somewhat under construction, although back in session. As far as the message that I'll be sending out during Oktoberfest, it's just gonna be two simple things. Make sure you have a sober ride home and don't wait a year to come back. And I hope all of our businesses really push the things that are here all year and let people know, hey, here's something you don't have to wait a year to come back for. So hopefully people recognize this as an opportunity to get people into town the other 51 weeks out of the year. That's all I've got. So hearing nothing else, we're adjourned.